If you don't know, a dopamine fast or detox is to abstain from the kinds of things that you would normally enjoy doing. This can range from consuming social media to consuming a pleasurable meal. By removing these pleasures, it takes away all the extra dopamine we overload ourselves with and releases the natural, healthy amounts you're supposed to get from accomplishing your tasks and doing the things that we set out to do. That is why, for the next 24 hours, I will be completing a dopamine fast. So that all being said, I thought, you know what, see what the results are and if there's some value in this. So yeah, hopefully I don't go insane and this isn't just all crap, so let's just see what happens. Now, like I mentioned before, here are the rules. 1. No processed sugars, junk food, or any sweet drinks. 2. No social medias, meaning Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter. 3. No media consumption, meaning YouTube, Netflix, and even cable TV. And 4. No video games or anything online that is not a necessity, which could be things such as Reddit. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I thought that this was gonna be very, very difficult. I don't know, the idea of just basically abandoning anything that brings pleasure was a little bit nerve-wracking to me, and now it is currently 5:58, and honestly, things aren't that bad. I've been able to focus on getting a lot of my work done. I've been keeping up with all the parameters that I set out for myself, and as somebody who spent hours and hours on YouTube, I've got to say, not only has this not been as difficult as I thought, but it's kind of refreshing not having all these different ideas and opinions just constantly in your head. I'm definitely feeling the mental clarity aspect of it. You're more just focused on yourself and you're focused on what you're doing, the things that you're doing in the moment, and it's a good feeling. Something else that's really great about this is that there's so much more time in the day. So anything that you were putting off or thought that you didn't have enough time for, you definitely have a lot more time for now. Now, I've still got a lot more hours to go, and I've even got to go throughout the night without indulging in any of the normal activities that I would. And even though it's been really easy so far because it's basically been the work day, I'm assuming that later on throughout the night, it's gonna get a little bit more difficult, but I'm still not gonna give up, and I'm still gonna keep up with this detox. My hair is... You know what? Now, you might be thinking, what even is dopamine and why does everyone care about it so much? Essentially, dopamine is a chemical inside our bodies that makes us feel pleasure. Everyone cares about it because dopamine plays a strong role in reward and reinforcement. If you receive something, whether it's an award or satisfaction of accomplishment, your brain releases dopamine and says whatever you did to get this reward is worth doing again in the future. If it gives you pleasure, then you are more likely to do it again. This may all sound great, but the same effects happen for bad habits. The problem is that things like social media as a whole release tons and tons of dopamine, a way larger, unnatural amount than sitting down and studying. This is why it's so much easier to procrastinate and not feel motivated to do the work that you know you should do. Your brain has become accustomed to constantly having these large amounts of dopamine surging through it. So what's the solution? Taking a day from these things that give you the most amount of dopamine for little to no work. A dopamine fast. Or detox, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so it's about 10 o'clock right now, and throughout this entire day, I haven't really spent much time on my phone, on social media, watching a lot of videos, and I do still have to go throughout the night to make it that full 24 hours, but in general, I feel like I've gotten a lot out of this. Today I have found that I have so much time to finish all my different tasks, even get ahead, and that was really the entire point of all this, to make the dopamine from watching videos and being on social media, replace that with dopamine by completing tasks, getting ahead, and just feeling good about yourself actually doing that. So tomorrow, we'll wrap all of this up, and We'll see what happens. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably wondering about what kind of benefits come from going through something like this. Now, just to make it clear, I'm not a doctor or scientist or anything like that, but I'll make sure and list all of my sources down below, and everything that I'm about to tell you will be based off the research that I've done, as well as the experiences that I've actually had and what I've felt going through this entire process. So, number one is that it's way easier to focus. You just stay less distracted for longer periods of time, and that's a pretty good feeling. Number two is more time. There's actually more time available to you because by not spending any time on social media, you have a lot of time to get ahead and even focus on the things that you do really care about. Number three is mental clarity. And since there's no clutter of constant media or thoughts or opinions being pushed down your throat, you just have the sense of light-weighted peacefulness because all you have are your own thoughts and not everyone else's, so it's a good feeling to have. And number four is going to be discovering passion. Whether it's a hobby or skill, you're going to find this sense of pure pleasure from doing it, and it's going to make you want to do it over and over again and just keep returning to it. And again, these are things that I've actually felt and experienced as well as researched online. If you're interested in even more benefits, then there's no harm in trying this yourself. Alright, and that is it. 24 hours straight of just a clean dopamine detox. So if somebody was to ask me if this was worth doing, I would definitely say that it was worth doing. What I learned throughout this entire process really comes down to being intentional. Being intentional about what you spend your time on, being intentional about what you're actually doing with your time. And what I mean by all that is that instead of spending hours and hours just clicking on the next video that pops up, actually going for what I came for and then getting out of the app. And doing that not only saves a lot of time, but it also makes it really easy to focus because you're more self-aware of what you're actually doing. I also realized that giving up these small pleasures in our lives every once in a while isn't so much of a bad thing. You know, going into this, I really thought that it was going to be extremely difficult, but now having actually done it, I realized that not only was it not that challenging, but it's definitely something that I can keep up over a long period of time, which I'll definitely try to do so. And that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. Going forward, I'm going to make sure that every day in a week, I take some time out to practice one of these detoxes, if you will, and it's almost satisfying in a way. It's like, you know, accomplishing a really hard and difficult goal, but while you're actually doing it, it isn't that bad, so at the end, it's just a win-win situation. And with everything that I have gained throughout this entire process, I really do think that it is worth it, and that it'll provide you, if you do try it out, a lot of value, and maybe even experiencing some of the things that I experienced just because of how valuable this process is. And just like a dopamine detox could provide you a lot of value, if this video has provided you any value, it would really help my channel if you left a like and even subscribed if you want more videos just like this one. More videos are on the way, so hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss them. I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.